For our 16.2 notes, we are going to be taking those dot plots and we're going to be turning them into box plots. Sometimes you might hear them called box and whisker plots. So they'll have boxes and then little whiskers drawn out to the side. So a box plot is going to tell us the median, the, let's see, quartile 1, quartile 3, and the greatest, yep, that is how you spell greatest, oh my goodness, and the lowest values of a dot plot. So it will not tell us like specific, oh, there's this many of this and this many of this, like a dot plot, or even how many total are on the dot plot, but it gives us a really good indication of how the data is grouped together, those clusters of data. So the lower quartile is the median of the first half. So once you find your median, right, it's kind of split into two sections, and then you find the middle of the first part, and that is our lower quartile. And then the upper quartile, we find the median of the second half, right? The lower and the upper parts of our data. So the lower numbers, the higher numbers, we find the middle of those. So it's broken into two pieces, middle, middle. So let's take a look here. So a box plot and a dot plot are actually going to represent the same data. So these two things, dot plot, box plot, are representing the same information, but they're showing it in different ways, right? So on this one, I can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of information, 13 data points. This one, I have no idea how many there are. On both of them, I can tell they go from 1 to 9, 1 to 9. Right? This one, I can see there's exactly 3 5s, 2 8s, 2 2s. It's very symmetrical, actually. It would fold nicely in half. This one, I have no idea how many 5s there actually were. I can tell. So, but then when I come over here to the box plot, I know here's my median. So I know that the middle is right here. So go ahead and label that with me. And I know that this is the minimum value. And I know that over here is the maximum. Okay, and then right here, we are going to have Q3. So this is the middle of the upper part, right? So we took that section and we split it in half. So we had all these numbers 1 through 5 over here and then 5 through 9 this way. So they found the middle of 5 through 9, all these data points, and it was 7. And then they did the same thing with the bottom half, the lower, and that is Q1. So this is breaking the data up into 4 different pieces. So I can easily identify, here's the lowest value, the highest one, here's the middle, oh, the middle of the first part, the middle of the second part. And it's also going to tell me how spread out the data is. These are all pretty equal, right? Here's one section, Q1, Q2 is the median, Q3, Q4. So it's telling us where is your data following. The more squished together the boxes and the whiskers are, the more numbers you have packed into that. And if they're really long, that means, oh, you don't have very much data there. You've got a lot of gaps in there, probably lots of numbers spread out. So let's go ahead and try to make one of those. Oh, but first we need to talk about odd and even numbers. So when we have an odd amount of data points, you're going to find the median and then leave it out. So let's try that here. So, right, 3 and 11 connect, 5 and 10, 8 and 9. So we have 9 in the middle. And then I would leave this out. So there's my middle. And then I'm finding my median here, 3 and 5. So my Q1 would be 5. So here's the median. I'm going to make that a medium. and then 9 and 11 connect, and 10 would be Q3. So make sure you do that with me, right? So I left that one out when I was separating the two sides. It didn't get to go to either side. It was just kind of its own separate thing. When we have an even amount of data points, you're going to find the median and then split the 2 points, right? Because you had 2 in the middle and you found the middle, but then you're going to give 1 to this side and 1 back to this side. So let's try that out. So this 3 and 11 go together, 5 and 10, 5 and 9. So I'm left here with 9 and 8. And so my median is 8.5. There's the middle. And now I'm splitting it, right? And I'm saying 8's going to the lower half, 9's going to the upper half. So now I'm going to find the middle here. So not 3 and 8 go together. So now I have 5 and 5, which the Q1 would be 5. So Q1 is 5. And then 9 and 11 go together, 9 and 10. So this one would be 9.5 for Q3. So when you have 2, you still do the same thing, just like we have before. Find the middle of the middles with those 2. You can add them together and divide by 2 if you need to, or if they're just close enough, you can just do that. So odd numbers, just ignore it, leave it out. Even, you're going to have to split and give 1 to each side. So let's go ahead and try to make one here. So we're going to list these out in order. So we have a 1, 2, 2, 2. So 1, 2, 2, 2. So go ahead and do these with me. No 3s. And we have a 4, 5, 5. Oh my goodness. And then no 6s, 2 7s, and 2 8s. Make sure you have those with me. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So we're going to start and find the median. And I know there's going to be an even amount, so I should have 2 in the middle when I'm done. So 1 and 8, 2 and 8, 2 and 7, 4 and 7. So we're left with 5 in the middle, which is going to give us that nice medium of 5. I said medium, median of 5 in the middle. And now I'm splitting here and finding the lower and upper quartile medians. So now we have, right, 2 and 5. So if I would have ignored that 5, it would have given me a different number here. So you got to put them back. If there's not just one single median, you got to put it back into the data set. So we split it, 1 and 5, 2 and 4. So this time I'm just left with 2 as Q1. And then 5 and 8 go together, 7 and 8, and I'm just left with 7 for Q3. So we listed them in order. We found the middle, which was 5. We found the middle of the upper and the middle of the lower. It doesn't matter which order you do those in. These two can switch and interchange as long as you find both of them. And then we're going to use Q1, the median, and Q3 to make our box. So we're going to put a line on 5, a line on 2, and a line on 7. And we're going to connect those all together to make our boxes, right? Boxes, 2 boxes. So check. And now we're going to take our highest and lowest points to make the whiskers. So the lowest data point is a 1. So I put a dot there and connect with the whisker. And my highest is an 8 and connect. So here we have our nice box and whisker plot. It's telling us how spread out the data is, right? This one's a little shorter. So that means we've got more grouped together right there. This one's a little bit bigger from 2 to 5, right? It's saying, right, there's not as much here, right? In the 3 and 4 area, we don't have as much. Unfortunately, I don't know which ones it is just from looking at my box plot, but it does tell me there's not as much here. So it's cutting it into right? Upper quartile, quarters, 25, 25, 25, 25. There's 25% of the data in each of those quartiles. So now what do these box plots tell us? So they are telling us how the data is spread out. So, right, just like we were just talking about, is this data in tight groups? Is it all very close together? If it's very close together, you're going to have a very packed in box and whisker plot. If it's spread out, it's going to have longer things. So let's take a look at a couple here. So this one here, so we can see, so I always like to look for where is it most compact together. So right here, I can see is probably the squishiest part of it. So from 19 to 21, you're going to have a group of data. That's where you've got a packed in group. So that is I'm going to stop writing with that marker and type instead. So from 19 to 21, you've got a packed group. And because this, right, is more spread out, so from 15 to 19 is more spread out. So we can see that there. So it's just telling us, right, how is our data? Where are our groups here? So let's look at this one here. So I can see that this is a pretty long whisker. So there's probably not a lot of data here. So this could very well be an outlier. Maybe there's nothing here even. So this could be an outlier. There's not a lot here. It's very long. These two boxes and even this whisker are looking pretty even, right? They all look about the same. So most of our data is going to be between 16 to 24. Lots of those are looking very similar. So we've got a big group of data here, and then it's more spread out over here. So, right? So when it is, when you have longer boxes and whiskers, your data is spread out. So that's what we're going to record to help us remember. So longer boxes and whiskers equal spread out data. And so the opposite is when they're right tighter, they're going to be more packed in and there's going to be more information in that. We're going to have lots more data points in here than we did in here.